Joe Biden, because he had to get to bed, he was probably already in bed before, but he got out last night about, I don't know, what was it, about our time, maybe 11 o'clock or earlier even. Joe Biden comes on stage, very positive, very hopeful, and to my mind, a little too confident.
We feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote that it's going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted. But we're feeling good. We're feeling good about where we are.
By the way, that's not true what he just said. Well, I'm sure he is feeling good, and I think he's got a lot of reason to feel good. For instance, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania promised him that he would win the state before Election Day. Promised it to him. Isn't that odd? A man who is going to be involved in some of the litigation surrounding Pennsylvania, an elected official in that state, promising him that state. Joe Biden said that it's not over until all the votes are counted. That may end up being true, but that ought not to be true according to the rules. Because what if I vote after Election Day? What if I vote 2 days after Election Day? What if I vote in December, Christmas Eve? I decide, I think I'm going to vote for Trump today. Is that vote going to be counted? No. You have to vote on time. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court blew up those sorts of deadlines. And now, even worse than that, we're in a situation where in Pennsylvania, the votes may not even have to be postmarked. There's a world in which they could just find, 10,000 votes. That's pretty slim margins in these places. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 votes. If the postmark is smudged, if it's unclear what the postmark is, they could just count those votes. We know that there have been irregular elections before. This happened notably a number of years ago with Al Franken, before he got booted out of the Senate, but when he was brought into the Senate. It looked like the Republicans were winning on election night. And all of a sudden, a couple 100,000 mail-in votes just show up. They go overwhelmingly, implausibly. Some pundits have suggested statistically impossibly for the Democrat, and then the Democrat wins the race, and Republicans rolled over in that case. Joe Biden seemed very, very confident. President Trump seemed less confident. When he walked in to give his speech, he didn't seem happy. Now, by the way, Joe Biden gave a speech much earlier than Donald Trump did. President Trump walks in and gave a speech at 2:30 in the morning. This is a 74-year-old man who had coronavirus, 2 weeks ago? And he came in and he gave his speech, and he said, as we predicted on this show, this is going to the courts.
And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you.
There it is. There is the line that's getting President Trump in trouble. I want to go through, because there are people who are attacking him for this, even on the right. We had a little disagreement on the Daily Wire set last night about what to make of this statement. There are a couple statements in here that are worth parsing, because I 100% defend what the president just said there. And I know that some of the things that he said, they make us feel a little squeamish. He's already getting fact-checked. They're calling him a liar. I don't think that he said a single lie in that statement. But in the terms of the Facebook fact checkers, it requires context. Fine, I'm more than happy to give that context. Ties in pretty well. Disrupting the education space ties in very well to disrupting the other established institutions which seem arrayed against President Trump right now. What President Trump said is that this is a big fraud being perpetrated on the American people. That is true. He's being fact-checked for it because they're saying, well, we don't know if the election is fraudulent. We don't know if there are fraudulent votes right now in Pennsylvania or in Wisconsin or in Michigan or in Nevada. Who knows? That's not the point. Last night, the election was going for Trump. The left had already set the stage for this because they, I guess, suspected that nobody was going to vote for that doddering old crook, even though they had the advantage of early voting and mail-in voting before the second presidential debate, before the New York Post story showing the Biden family corruption. Even before that, I think the left thought, gosh, maybe we're not going to win this thing, so we need to set the stage. We'll say it's a red mirage. Trump's going to win on election night, and then we're going to keep on counting. We're going to keep on counting until we win. That's the language you heard from Joe Biden. He said, when every vote is counted, then we're going to win. You heard this from Josh Shapiro, the crooked AG of Pennsylvania. Obviously deeply corrupt man. He said, when all the votes are counted, Biden's going to win. How are you so sure, Attorney General? Do you know something that we don't know? I hope you enjoyed that short segment from the Michael Knowles Show. Be sure to check out the full episode linked in the description or download the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.